Hello. This is Joe. What do you know?
Just when I have all the answers, all the questions change.
Yeah, just when I have all the answers, all the questions change. That's me. Did you know that? That was me singing and playing guitar. I just can't get enough of me. You know? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Right? Oh, I am so gangsta. I can't even believe how fucking gangsta I am. And I'm just there right at a minute. I like to get that explicit tag earned as soon as possible. I'll drink to that. I was going to talk about alcohol again for the 27th time, even though this is only episode 10, assuming I do put this up as a podcast episode. Hold on, I'm going to cough and actually be professional and use the button. There, but then I dropped off and it just went silent. I could have played music over my coughing and gagging. All right, I'm trying to keep... I'm not using my professional setup. I've just been so lazy. I've been too lazy to set up my professional gear, even though that's not that much of a problem. But it's a hell of a lot easier just to use this built-in microphone that I'm now scraping, making annoying sounds. I'm being conscious not to have it rub up against my beard. I could just hold it in my hand, but I want to be able to hear myself. And I could just hear myself in one ear, but what fun is that? So yes, I was going to talk, make an entire episode about alcohol again, and alcoholism, and whatever, conjugations of the word alcohol you can come up with. But I guess I am. I'm talking about it now because I'm mentioning it. But instead, what I'm going to do is switch you over whenever I stop my babble. I'm going to switch you over to a bit of music. Unlike the recent ones I've done, no, it's not just me fiddling around for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, however long. It's more the development of a song idea. I started out with just some chord progression, a little beat, a little chord progression, a little groove. That's part one of the music. And then in part two, I added some lyrics, just a little bit. And then part three, I added some more lyrics. Just building. So the point is, it's just a little slight behind the curtain look at how at least one person writes songs. That person being me. Because I know that, everybody out there is just dying to know how a semi-professional musician such as myself writes music. Whenever I get the urge, that is. I'm going to go in the bathroom. Bathroom's got better acoustics, plus I started hearing some noise outside from the neighbors, I assume. Neighbors or workmen or whoever. It's 7 o'clock at night, so probably neighbors. Daring to make noise, opening and closing windows or doors or whatever the hell they were doing. So why was I going to talk about alcohol again? Why? All right, so let's see. Where was I? Let's see. Autumn called. I guess you would have heard some of that, but I have no way of knowing how this app handled that. I don't know if it glitched or if it's going to catch me answering the phone or what the deal was. But I'm just going to continue here because it's still counting up at 5 minutes and change. Don't remember exactly what I was talking about at the time, but I think I was starting to touch on the fact that I was going to just sit down and do my original intent, my old school, old school from a few months ago. I was going to do that podcast where I just sat down and just purely talked. And I was going to talk about alcohol again, because I'm doing that roller coaster thing, man. I spent a good portion of this last weekend drunk or sleeping, and it wasn't, the thing about it is it wasn't totally pathetic, at least from my point of view, because I was in the company of other adults, which is part of my motivation for doing that, instead of just sitting at home and drinking, which I am also prone to do. And in fact, I'm doing a little bit of right now, some rum and whatever else I have to mix it with. But aside from the drinking at home part of the motivation for going out is just, I want to be around people, play some pool. I like playing pool, exercising a little hand-eye coordination, which I've mentioned before, and I gotta quit saying that. You know what? The more we talk as people, we're constantly mentioning things about ourselves multiple times. I mean, right? There's only so much you can talk about. So I'm going to try to break that habit of saying, as I've said before, because pretty much everything I'm saying, I've said before in one form or another. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Part of the deal. I like to go out among other human beings because I telecommute, so I don't get out much. I just have the urge to go out. And one of the most common, grammar be damned, one of the most common places to go and hang out with other adults involves alcohol. Now, granted, I could go and not drink. I could do that. I've done that. I've gone years and with just going out and hanging out with people and not drinking. But lately, I've been more in the mode of I'm going to participate in the intake of social lubricant and enjoy myself with some alcohol along with other adults, right? And, there's pool involved, which means I'm on my feet. I'm more likely to stay awake than if I'm sitting on my at home Velcroed to the couch, drinking a 6-pack or a 12-pack or of beer. So there's that. Even though at home, a lot of times when I'm drinking at home, I do like to be up on my feet and playing Wii Sports, either Tiger Woods golf or Wii Sports, golf, bowling, that kind of thing, just to stay somewhat awake, somewhat. But here's why I was going to talk for however long it took, and look, apparently I'm doing it now, about alcohol, is I just thought, oh shit, I went from it being a thing that I was just going to go out and do occasionally, to play pool and hang out with adults and have conversations with grown-ups, I spent a good portion of, let's say, Friday, because I worked on Friday, but then from Friday afternoon until Sunday night, just basically drinking from dusk till dawn and over again, and then woke up on Monday going, what the fuck did I do that for? And even though it was mostly fun, I still woke up, not feeling too well on Monday and basically pissing out of my ass. Sorry for that, but, we've all been there, right? Just no one to blame but myself. And thinking, is this worth it? Is this worth it? And then even as I ask the question again, right now, as I'm standing here staring at myself in the mirror while I'm talking into this microphone, I go, well, yeah, apparently I do think it's worth it, or I wouldn't do it, right? There's the yin and yang of it. Apparently the displeasure I feel when I wake up in the morning feeling like crap, it must be worth it on some level, or I wouldn't be doing it, right? Right? I'm being rhetorical here. I guess, yes, it is. But then I question myself, and I'm back on that roller coaster again. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to continue on this roller coaster ride or what the deal is, but I just thought I'd mention it for what that's worth. I'm not going to make any proclamations here. Am I going to be drinking this weekend? I don't know. Probably, yes. I don't feel the urge to stop at the moment, although I did feel that way Monday morning when I was doing what I said out of my ass. So there's that. But let's get back to the moment here. And how's this for a segue? Let's stop talking about squirting water out of assholes and get into music. Because what I did today is I just had a little fragment of a song, so I recorded, 30 or 40 seconds of just this little riff, just a little chord progression, and the accompanying beat. I guess you can't really separate those. Well, I guess you could, because you can have a chord progression that's very bland and doesn't really have much of a beat to it. But the point is, I had a chord progression with a little beat, and I thought, oh, this is something worth recording, so I recorded it. Turned the recorder off. Fiddled around a little bit more, started mucking with where would my voice go. And I was thinking back to something somebody said about B.B. King and other various and sundry blues and early rock and roll musicians who tended to play and sing as two separate things. Like they go, but did I can take home the bacon, you know. Yeah, that's a great rendition, right? Point being, they'd go guitar, voice, guitar, voice, guitar, voice. And I thought, a lot of my stuff doesn't tend to do that. It tends to run together. It's not necessarily good, or I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just trying to break out of patterns. And so I thought, oh, this little riff that I have, let me, for the most part, try to go, do the guitar, and then say something. And then do the guitar, and then say something. So that was that for part 2. Very minimal lyrics. And then part 3, just built on that. Kept some of the same lyrics and started building a little bit more. Will I build on this even further? I don't know. But at least for the time being, as I said, a little behind the scenes, lift up the curtain and look behind the scenes at a semi-professional, although at this point amateur, because, you know, seriously, how much I make in royalties on my songs basically makes me an amateur, but technically professional. So, and when I say semi-professional, I'm borrowing from Steve Martin, because he used to call himself back at the height of his stand-up comedy prowess. He called himself a semi-professional comedian. But at this point, I'm not joking. I am a semi-professional musician, because I make a few pennies here and there, but basically not enough to even buy what? I don't know. A stick of chewing gum. Once again, going to the obvious, as I normally do. Now I should go to the music, right? Shouldn't I? Yeah, why not? I know there's no should. There's nobody over my shoulder telling me what I should and shouldn't do. But right now I feel like I should stop. So I'm going to stop, and you'll start listening to the aforementioned little bit of song fragments building on top of each other, parts 1, 2, and 3. Maybe I'll cut in between parts to signal the transition, or maybe not. We'll see. I'll have to do that in post-production, and I haven't decided what to do with that yet. So here we go with Song Fragments, parts 1, 2, and 3.
Song Fragment, Part 1. Song Fragment / Development, Part 2. You think you know? You know what I'm saying. You get to drinking and then to praying, but you ain't gotta call me when I know. You think you know.
Song fragment / development / conclusion, part 3.
You know what I'm saying. You start to drinking and then to praying. You say you know what I'm thinking. You stop your praying, get back to drinking. Just one thing they wanna know, and that's you know that you don't know. What do you know? What do you know? What do you know? Don't know. And that's all that I got to say. That doesn't rhyme. That doesn't rhyme. Say doesn't rhyme with no. Does it? No.